Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I hope you guys had a good weekend and go ahead and fire away. Any question, unmute yourself or type in.
And go ahead, Robert, then Jennifer.
Hey, Miss
Good
Robert.
evening, Greg. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I have one of my clients on the call with us. Her first name's Karen,
Hey, Karen.
and she'll give you a little bit overview of what's going on.
Sure. Hey, Karen.
Let's see about getting you unmuted. Here we go.
There, is that better?
Perfect.
Yes,
Oh,
perfect.
good. Okay. I have a psoriasis rash on my arms and legs and
Okay.
a little on the rest of my body.
Okay.
My skin is very thin and bruises or bleeds at the tiniest bump or scratch.
Okay. Does the skin tear? Like, does the skin tear
Very
really?
easily, very
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
Should I continue with a couple other things or wait?
Yeah. Actually, give me a couple more things.
Okay. I have trouble getting to sleep. I wake up several times during the night, and I often get leg or foot cramps.
Okay.
I also have Raynaud's syndrome.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Let's start simple. So the psoriasis, how bad is it? Is it just kind of like a mild case, or do you have pretty serious outbreaks? Or
Last spring, it started and it disturbed me on my arms and legs quite a bit. It wasn't terrible during the summer. It was pretty harsh again in this fall. You know, really bright rash on my upper arms and legs. They tried some corticosteroid, and then I tried triamcinolone, and now recently I'm taking clobetasol, and it seems to be responding to the clobetasol. So although I still have a red rash on my arms, it's not quite as bad,
Okay.
but it's definitely not gone.
Right. So the issue with psoriasis is that it's autoimmune issue for one, and it's a pretty cagey condition. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you start treating it, you might get a little bit of results, and then all of a sudden it stops working. So usually where we start with that is usually we use spikenard. I've tried a bunch of different variations. One thing that we have found that using like parsley soap, soap with a bunch of parsley oil in it, has reduced some of the symptoms of psoriasis. But then also putting spikenard directly on the outbreak sites. Spikenard has a very strong balancing effect on the skin, and with psoriasis, there's an overproduction of skin cells. And so in theory, it should help. Like, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And so one of the things that, I mean, you could just stick with that. You could even try doing a couple drops of the spikenard at night internally, just because that would probably help improve the quality of sleep, but then also kind of helps the system fight off the psoriasis. You know, one of the things that I have used for a long time, and we've been able to acquire as an essential oil, is butterbur. And I use it for other reasons. But one of the potential benefits of using butterbur is that it reduces the firing of the sensory nerves, which can impact the immune system or overstimulate the immune system, which is an issue with psoriasis. And it has a strong anti-inflammatory effect where it has been shown to sometimes reduce the effects of the psoriasis. And so I would probably do both. Like, I would do the butterbur internally in just like probably like a couple of drops, like in some water or juice. And then the spikenard directly on the site. And if you wanted to try to do the parsley soap on the skin, the thinning of the skin, that's a rough one. Yeah, that's a rough one. In theory, like myrrh is supposed to like kind of help thicken the skin and toughen up the skin. But in these kinds of cases, I've never really seen it work like well for that. It does it, but more for like wounds and things.
Mm.
And so anytime you see like a lot of like bruising that's very easy, that happens very easy, or can even happen a little bit spontaneous, and just the quality of the skin, is we always like to support it with vitamin C, but not just normal vitamin C. You know, normal vitamin C will pass through your system in about 4 hours. It's something that your body doesn't generate and is not able to store. And so one of the ways to elevate vitamin C levels in your body is to use crude vitamin C, which is known as quercetin. And we use it for like allergies and things like this. And, you know, one of the benefits of having enough C in your body is it helps to stabilize collagen and things like that. And in theory, again, it might toughen up the skin a little bit, but usually it reduces the bruising and the bleeding under the skin. Are you on any medications? Are you on blood thinners or anything like that?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
However, I am 79, and my
Yeah.
father always had bruising skin too.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
not surprised by it. I just
No,
don't.
it happens, but still, like if we can treat it and reduce it or knock it out, I mean, it's still
great.
it's like worth a shot. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so, I would do like probably 2 to 3 capsules of the quercetin like twice a day. And
Oh.
Robert can help you like finding and figuring that out. It's something that we use to treat like allergies and asthma and things like this. But here it's more for stabilizing collagen. I mean, one of the other things you might want to think about for helping to like strengthen and stabilize the skin is augmenting with just some collagen, you know, taking some collagen internally that you can get from the health food store. And what's the brand that we use for ourselves? Like it's,
Sell something.
we'll figure out the
Yeah.
brand that we use, because like one of the things that I use it for is like you know, hormones happen, stress happens, whatever, and all of a sudden my hair will start falling out really kind of quickly. And I'll take collagen for like 2 or 3 days, and I mean it just stops. And it
Wow.
does like improve the kind of the quality of the skin. It thickens up the nails. Like, are your nails real thin and real brittle?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, like it's like anytime you see a thinning of the skin or when the skin's tearing, it's the collagen is destabilized. And you know, it could be for all kinds of reasons, but vitamin C is one of the big things that can help stabilize that. And unfortunately, I don't think of there's any oils that I could think of that would probably help that. But like, just go to the health food store and Robert could help guide you. And between the quercetin and the collagen, you should find some level or degree of relief from that. Those two things are not going to help the psoriasis itself, so you will still have to do some other things for the psoriasis. But you know, between the parsley and the spikenard, you know, we've gotten some decent results with it, but psoriasis is a tough one to treat. Like you
Yeah.
just, one of the things that like I kind of like the idea of is rotating the approach of treating psoriasis, just because you know, the body, you know, you're dealing with something that's autoimmune. And so sometimes when you keep treating it the same way, the body, the immune system will kind of adapt and start to like fight that off. And so I kind of like this rotational approach to go through and treat that, just so the body can never get a line on what you're doing. And so, and then the idea is just to calm it down.
So Greg, one of the ideas I had is, if Karen's open to it, would the regeneration of the immune system class help her?
I would probably lean a little bit more towards just doing the thing that we're talking about tonight. Like the concern that I would have that she's in the middle of an outbreak is that, you know, we laid that class out kind of in a way so that if somebody had an autoimmune issue, that it would still be okay. But if she's having like a kind of a decent outbreak, we could do it, but maybe like just slightly modify a couple of things just because she's in a little bit of an outbreak cycle.
Okay.
And so, you know, like, for example, anytime we're using like times and things like that, you could substitute the Moroccan time. And the spikenard does have a soothing effect on the thymus as well, but we're wanting the thymus to help regulate the immune system to keep it from attacking the body. And
Okay.
that's the thing with psoriasis is the body is just overproducing skin cells. And so just calming that down sometimes can be helpful. And so you know, I have used like fur, like some different kinds of fur on it sometimes, but you know, I've talked with even some of my old medical aromatherapy friends, you know, that are doctors and stuff, and there's just no clear path in treating psoriasis. Like you just kind of start throwing stuff at it, and you know, different people react differently to the treatment, and you just find something that works for that individual.
This is
Okay.
the first time I've had a great big outbreak like this. I've had little tiny patches for years and years, all my life, little tiny ones here or
Mhm.
there. First
Mhm.
time it's ever been a rash over many inches of my body.
Yeah. Have you been sick a lot, or have you had like a lot of stress, or?
Yes, I have a lot of stress. My
Yeah.
husband has dementia.
Okay, gotcha. So the thing with the butterbird might even help him with dementia a little bit. So if you wanted to take that and give it to him in his juice or something, and that could be helpful. As far as the cramping is concerned, I would use marjoram, a couple of drops on the wrist. I'd probably put, you know, because you're probably having it down in your legs, like your lower legs and your calves and things. And so I would probably put like a couple drops on top of each of your top, like the top of the foot. You don't have to get it on the exact site, you know, where the cramps are. And I would keep the bottle by your bed, because if you get cramps in the middle of the night, like if you get a cramp in your calf, you could put a couple drops on your thigh, like, you know, up on your upper thigh, and it will take the cramp out usually.
Wow. Oh,
Pretty
okay.
pretty quickly. And
Uh-huh.
the other benefit of it is it also is something that you would use to treat insomnia. You know,
Oh,
again, between the spikenard and the marjoram, I would inhale both of those kind of, you know, right before you go to bed or as you're laying in bed, you know, 15, 20, 25 breaths. I mean, you could just keep inhaling it until you start to get groggy. Between the two of them, one of them should work for helping you to fall asleep.
oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
let's
great.
do that for a little bit and then check in with her about a week or two and then see how the treatment's going.
Okay, so Greg, can I recap to make sure I
Yeah.
got my notes right?
Yeah.
Spikenard need 2 drops and also 2 drops internally at night.
Yeah. So the neat, you can just like whatever you need to do to cover the area, and then a couple drops internally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then parsley soap,
Mhm.
butter burr internally 2 drops daily,
Mhm.
quercetin 2 to 3 capsules twice a day,
Yes.
collagen internally. We have the brand name Neocell.
Right.
Moroccan thyme instead of thyme if we were to use thyme for anything.
Right.
For her cramps, marjoram, 2 drops on the wrists and some drops on the top of the feet.
Yeah.
Keep it by her bedside to use potentially at night as well. And then to help her sleep, spikenard and marjoram, sustained inhalations, about 20
Right.
breaths each.
I mean, there's other things that you could use for sleep, but since you already got those two things in the mix, I would just use those. You know,
Okay.
and then the other thing is just the butterbur. If you wanted to go there, there has been some studies where that has reduced psoriasis, but it wasn't like an overwhelming, like, oh, 90% of the time. It was like, yeah, sometimes it's helpful, you know, like 30, 40% of the time it's helpful. And then it does reduce inflammation. It does reduce like overstimulation of the sensory nerves. I mean, traditionally we use it for like either asthma or migraines. but it does have some effect on the digestive system. Like you could also use it to like treat ulcers and things like that. It's not a very common herb or common oil. Like it took me a while to run it down. I've had it before in the past, but I've never been able to get it like in quantity. And the only reason I got it was just I use it for myself somewhat, and just wanting something different for migraine treatments, and for it basically it relaxes some of the blood vessels, and it reduces the intensity of the nerves firing. And so you can use it like in arthritic conditions. I've never found that it worked great like in nerve pain syndromes, but you know how like the body can become like oversensitive, like just hypersensitive. It does reduce that somewhat. And that combined with some sage for that hypersensitivity of the sensory nerves is a good combination. I mean, usually I just use sage, but sometimes in like severe, like when people have had accidents, or when they have like migraine syndromes, or they've just been in chronic pain for a long period of time, sometimes you need to come at it a little bit stronger. And so we're starting to process where we're even going to look at it for treating chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, just because of the things that it does for inflammation and the things that it does to the sensory nerves. And the thing that's nice about the aspect about the sensory nerves is it's based on a study that came out, like, I don't know, a couple of years ago or something. And so, sometimes some of these things, they work for some people, but they don't work for everybody. And so, that's why we started doing the thing, even with doing like small little bottles, instead of doing a 5 ml, you can do a 2 ml, just to see if it works. And then if it doesn't work, you're not all invested into a bigger bottle. And then if it works, and then you can always get a bigger bottle. But even when we divide it up, we pretty much try to keep it the same price, it's just smaller. And so even if you want to go small bottles on something like that, we can make that happen. And the things from the health food store, like I always say, like just start with a small bottle, so that if it doesn't work, you're not invested into the family size version.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Because sometimes if I use something, I go, I'm gonna buy 5 of them, and then that way I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the year. And then I don't use it, and I have a shelf full of things that I haven't been using. And so try those things and see how it works.
Okay, thank you very much, Greg.
You're so welcome.
And then go ahead, Jennifer, then Goldie.
Hey, Jennifer.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I wasn't sure if you'd be able to. All right, so I have a question about my son. His name is Aiden. He's for ever since he was about 13 years old, he's been struggling with growth issues. He started growth hormone back then, and
at age 13.
Yeah, at 13, just because
And how old is he now?
He's 19 now.
19, so for 6 years. Okay.
Yeah, so he's at the highest dose of growth hormone, and he's
And
growing.
when you say growth hormone, you're talking about human growth hormone?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
gotcha.
And he's made some strides. He's gotten to about 5'4". He should be at about he should be around between 5'7" and 5'9". The concern is he's already 19. His growth plates have not closed, obviously, but he's probably at about a bone age of about 15, between 15 and a half. So uh, a couple things are going on. We're starting to notice that he's losing the ability for muscle. He's going down, like um, he's not as strong as he used to be. He's they say his testosterone levels are extremely low. They're at about a 40 when they should be somewhere above 300. I don't have all of the notes right in front
Wow.
of me.
For a kid his age, that's
Yeah.
like,
So
those are old man numbers.
yes. So
Okay.
he's doing the
Any
best he
other,
can.
any other endocrine issue, like, any issue with blood sugar or adrenal function, anything like that?
Well,
Thyroid issue?
yeah, well, he's on thyroid medication too
Yeah.
because of the
Okay.
growth hormone.
Yeah.
Now, when
Okay.
he was younger, he had a brain scan, and they say it's a small little um, abnormality on his pituitary, but they say it's usually something that's normal, and it hasn't really been looked at as anything. I just feel like there's something else that can be done.
Yeah.
We can take testosterone, but the issue with testosterone and the issue with Aiden is he's extremely healthy. He doesn't want to do any, he's already on the growth hormone. He's already worried about going off of it because he wants to be able to go off to college in the fall of next year.
Mhm.
And we're trying to get him to a place where he doesn't have to be dependent on the growth hormone. His testosterone is back. And besides taking the testosterone can cause the growth plates to close.
Mhm.
But he's having trouble with fatigue
Mhm.
and just lower, almost like just feeling malaise, feeling like not always as happy as he could be. Just come see, come saw, we
Mhm.
all the time. And there's some bright moments there, but for the most part, it's okay, when is this going to happen? Now, Aiden's on board with pretty much doing anything because of his mindset, and he with more natural because of his concerns, like of having uh, the medications and what they could do in the future. So one of the things that he's up for trying anything that's gonna work. It's
Okay.
just that we're concerned about he needs growth, like he needs to grow. And I'm
Yeah.
concerned that something's going on with his pituitary that we're missing.
Yeah. So, well, I would say pituitary, but there's probably also like a hypothalamus issue that, well, I mean,
Right.
so, hmm. And
Their
was
diet.
there ever like any trauma? Was there like a car accident or he
Oh,
fell?
there's been a lot of trauma, like absolutely. His older brother was there's his older brother has spina bifida. Over the years, we've had multiple things happen in our family, just
Mm.
that has caused angst in him. Like we've had a house fire, and then he was recovering from that, and that's when all of these other issues started. Now, he's always been more anxious, and I've always had to work with him with techniques to help calm him down. He's does meditation, and we've been recently doing sounding Om, ONG,
Mhm.
to help with everything that's going on. And he responds really well to that. And so he's, yeah, so the trauma, yes. And,
Okay.
but he's willing to learn and to do whatever he needs to do.
So with this, like, sometimes you see issues with, like, I just like, it kind of falls under like what we would call like failure to thrive, when there's like growth issues, or it can be like almost like all the body systems aren't kicking in. And sometimes it's that way just from birth. It doesn't really show up, but like the traumas can complicate it. They probably didn't cause it, but it's just like a bunch of stresses. And he sounds like he's a little bit of an introverted kid.
Yes, he's
Yeah. So
very much.
yeah. So introverted people can also become like more sensitive and can be more prone to like things like fatigue. And again, it's not causing anything, but it's like we want to like factor that in, just because of like potential like depression and melancholy and things like that. And so I would like to start kind of almost in a way like really simple, but in the simple approach, kind of aggressive with the simple things. And there'd be two things that I'd like for him to use, but we'd use them kind of aggressively. And here's my thought with that, is that for one, we want to jumpstart and really stimulate endocrine function across the board. We don't really want to focus on, getting more testosterone or more, whatever. We want to jumpstart the whole endocrine system, because, sometimes that's just what happens, is the system never really kind of got going the way that it needed to or should have. And is as much as you try, you're just always kind of dealing with something that's running like at half speed. And so, whenever you're treating something in the endocrine system, every once in a while you can treat something specifically and go, and then it works and you don't really have to worry about the whole thing. But most times you have to kind of treat the whole system and then come back to the gland that's not functioning. And here it sounds like it's like kind of all of them. And so I would like to have him do a couple of things. Like there's two for sure, and there's one I'm kind of a little bit on the fence now, even as I'm talking. And so I'll just talk this out. So first off, I would like to put him on a combination of frankincense and myrrh. And the reason for the frankincense and myrrh is when they do it individually, but when combined, they're very fortifying and strengthening and kind of stimulating to the whole endocrine system as a whole. And especially the hypothalamus. They will impact the pituitary, but not super specific to the pituitary. We can do some other things specifically for the pituitary. And, sometimes people have like a little growth on there that's benign, but it still can throw off function a little bit. And they're actually quite common. There, can't remember what the number is, but there's a lot of people walking around with these little growths on the pituitary, but you usually go through your whole life and it's not an issue. And so I mean, it could be that, and it could be that just his endocrine system just never really got started, or maybe started and slowed down as he was growing. And so I would like him to take probably 3 to 4 drops of that blend. So when we mix frankincense and myrrh, we call it 3 wise men. Or you can just take frankincense and myrrh and mix them together, kind of like even amounts, right? And so I would have him take 3 or 4 drops. It could be either just directly on the tongue or in some water or juice, like 2 times a day, and then eventually even work up to like maybe 3 times a day. We might even increase that dosage at some point, but for right now, twice a day I think is pretty solid. And then the other thing is, I would like him to at least inhale cinnamon, like cinnamon or
Mhm.
cassia, but I would just go straight up cinnamon leaf, like not necessarily the bark, not necessarily cassia, but I would just go straight cinnamon leaf. And so here's my rationale with that. So for one, it's going to fight off some of the fatigue. You know, it might not completely remedy it, but it should increase his energy levels. Two, it makes him a little bit less introverted and a little bit more like turning like outward, right? So it is something that we'd use to treat things like melancholy and depressive states, especially when the person's very introverted. But usually when people are introverted, there is a greater potential for some depression because they usually are always like sitting and kind of processing and looking inward. And so when things are being difficult in the environment, they kind of always like look inward with it. And you know, if you notice somebody who's like an extrovert, they're never depressed. It's because they're always, you know, focused outward, right?
Mhm.
And so for really super sensitive kids and you know, adults and things, I like to go cinnamon. And the third thing with that is that it acts as a body stimulant, like across the board, and not a stimulant like caffeine, but it just helps to jumpstart the body systems. And it doesn't even have to be directed anywhere. Just long, slow, deep breaths on a regular basis. I'd say 20, 25 inhalations at a time. And I mean, he can carry around his pocket, and whenever he wants to do it during the day, he could do it. But I'd say at least 3 or 4 times a day, and probably in the morning, a couple drops in water and drink it.
Okay.
And the idea is to just keep jump starting his body systems. We use cinnamon whenever there's like a failure to thrive, except like in small children. Like we have to use like different things there, but like after the age of like 7 or 8, we jump into the cinnamon and then just modify the dosage. Given his age, it would be more about his tolerance of the cinnamon more than anything. And the thing with him inhaling it is that sometimes the anxiety is actually because the body systems are so sluggish. It actually will produce anxiety. You know, like, you know, sometimes it's because the breath isn't deep, and sometimes it's, you know, because of, you know, whatever. But when systems in the body are not like functioning like they should, it actually starts to cause anxiety. And you know, we just had a case about 2 months ago where this person just, man, she had just had really bad anxiety. And it was like the things that you would normally use to treat anxiety were not touching it, not phasing it. I mean, I even did a healing on her, nothing was phasing it. And you know, I was watching her breathe, and I was watching her movement and everything, and I just gave her some cinnamon and kind of the same instructions. Just inhale it as much as you want. And you know, even I think she just walked around, and I mean, she was inhaling it all day. Like she was just
Mhm.
inhaling it like it was oxygen. And it took about 2 weeks, and she called me back, and she said the anxiety's gone away. She hasn't felt this calm in probably like a decade. And it's just because it's stimulating the body systems. But like when the body's like not functioning like it should, you know, part of the issue is the respiration is also weak. Like, you know, like it's not like a good strong respiration. And so like cinnamon is also a stimulant to respiration. Like it doesn't make your breath go faster or anything like that, it just makes it stronger. And in that, when the breath isn't strong, it really can throw off the way the nervous system functions, like all aspects of the nervous system. And again, I don't think it's causing his issues, but it's definitely not helping. And that you're starting to see like decrease and muscle tone and muscle mass and strength and things like that. That always strikes me a little bit as being a little bit neurological. And so I'm going to guess that either his breath isn't as deep as it could, or it's not as strong as it could. It's not, taking in as much air and oxygen, but the byproduct of that is it's not moving the blood and the lymph in the body like it could. And then it's not aiding the nervous system like it could. And so I'd really just go two things right now. I mean, there's a couple other things that I'm thinking, but I'd almost like to see how intense treatment with those two is treating him and how he's starting to feel before we start shotgunning a bunch of things. As far as the pituitary itself, I like the idea of doing this for a while, because then when we come in and treat the pituitary, I think it will respond better. But Sylvester pine can work. Neoli can work, which is in the tea tree family. I kind of like Neoli for him, just because it's like it gives the body like the fire in the body, to like function. Like Neoli is really good for that. Like when a person's like really worn down or depleted, especially after like being sick or something, you use Neoli to kind of put the fire in their belly a little bit. And one of the things that it's good for is strengthening and stimulating pituitary function. Same with Sylvester pine, and same with black spruce. And there's a couple other things too, but I'd say at first, let's just do cinnamon and do the three wise men. Treat them like that pretty intensely for like a week or two. And then after that, let's go through and reevaluate him. And some of what we're wanting to see is like, is he having energy level? Is he having strength? Is he feeling better? But also how is the anxiety, and how is he just feeling overall, like kind of emotionally, mentally, all those would be indicators. And, a lot of times depression can obviously be psychological, but a lot of times depression is the body is fatigued or sluggish. And so, if the body doesn't get stronger, then you're always kind of trapped in that depressive state because the body is so fatigued. I mean, it's like in the workplace, we would call it, the like burnout, or, like somebody who's a workaholic then will like crash and things like that. And so it's just body fatigue. And so let's strengthen his body a bit. We might augment it with some herbs and things, but I'm really happy with these two things as the first wave of treatment with that. And then we can always adjust, but I almost want to see how he reacts to these two things, because good or bad with how he reacts, that still tells us some information and guides us into the next step, rather than just doing a whole bunch of things at once.
Okay. Can I just add something to
Oh, of
that?
course.
Ask.
Yeah.
So just to clarify with what you're saying, this is the first part of it, and then I have a second part. The first part is, we can't even get a hold of growth hormone right now, which is the interesting thing, is
Really?
because there's a shortage. And so we've been working on it. So
Wow.
this is incredible that this is happening right now. So Aiden and I he doesn't really want to do testosterone.
At his age, I mean, I would really hesitate for a little bit. I mean, I know that's part of his fatigue and everything, but
right.
if he starts taking testosterone now, there's a good chance as he gets older that he's just always going to have to take it. And, there's the growth plate issue, but you know, it could further complicate like hormonal levels as he gets older, you know, especially like in his 40s and 50s. But the other thing with taking large amounts of testosterone over a long period of time is it makes him very prone to blood clots. You know,
Okay.
like taking it from time to time, not so much, but if he was having to do it like all the time, like for 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Usually with testosterone therapy, you kind of try to jumpstart it back to like a reasonable place and then back off of it. And then just, you know, try to supplement naturally and everything. But especially with the pharmaceutical testosterone, there's starts to be the potential over a long period of time of like clotting issues. And so
Okay.
it wouldn't be so much an issue now. It would be, again, like as he gets older, we don't want to like predispose him to clotting issues when he hits his 40s and 50s.
And that's what he was worried about. So
Yeah.
we're definitely going to do all this. It's just right now we don't know. I don't even know if when we're going to be able to get a hold of more growth hormone, but we're working on
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So the other part of this is he has a very slight curvature of the spine, and it's right about like at his heart level.
Okay.
That it's been improving. Like he gets chiropractic work, he gets massage, and we actually use the margarine with the massage, and he sees a
Okay.
physical therapist to help him with realignment and balancing out the muscles. And things are working, and energetically we've been doing a lot of work, and things are coming into alignment. I just didn't know if there was a sense there, if there would be something else that could help him with this as he grows and as things get re-stimulated again.
So is it just that a shoulder or hip is elevated, or is he like have idiopathic scoliosis?
And
Like
so the skull, I don't know how to really answer that. The scoliosis is
so
right
if you
around.
look at him with his shirt off, is each side of his rib cage the same shape, or is one misshapen?
So there, it's not even. Like his rib cage, you can tell one side is misshapen versus the other. So
Okay,
yeah.
that's probably idiopathic. Yeah, that's a tough one. So you're getting chiropractic and you're getting some massage done. Is it just massage, or is it somebody who specializes in neuromuscular therapy? Or
She's doing massage, and she's doing cupping, and she's using the margarine with it, and
okay,
he's also getting physical therapy too.
okay. So that should be helpful. I mean, the idea, like with and it sounds like your massage therapist is on it, but like when there's the curvature, like if it's the C, you know, like this being where the spine goes out, and then this is where, you know, like it's instead of being like this, it goes like this. So you have that C. You want to treat a lot more of in here than out here. When it's been chronic, the pain's going to be more on the outside of the C instead of the inside, but the problem is more here than out here. You know, like when something has been like an acute phase, the contracted side is where you have pain, and when it's chronic, it switches to the elongated side. But the issue is like if you keep treating the area with the pain on the elongated side, it actually will exaggerate the imbalance rather than try to balance it out. And so, you know, just make sure that, like, I'm sure the physical therapist is addressing this, and your massage therapist sounds like they're on top of it. But
No, actually, the chiropractor is doing a really good job too.
okay,
She's using a technique to help address what you're talking about.
okay, good.
So which is really good. Yeah, so it sounds like we're on the right path.
Yeah,
I just
keep doing things that are antispasmodic and marjoram and I mean, we could throw a bunch of things at it, but let's maybe still just stick with what we have him doing for a little bit and stick with how you're treating it. Keep the margin on the spine, and we'll probably bump something up to that. But I kind of don't want to do too much because I really want to focus on the endocrine system and just the sluggishness of the whole body.
Okay. All right.
But like
Sounds
if
great.
something starts to come up and get weird, like before, a week or two goes by, I'd say give it like at least a couple of weeks, so we can kind of see where he's at. But give it at least a couple of weeks, and then let's reevaluate. But if something happens before then, just email us or something, and we'll jump on it.
And then go ahead, Goldie, then Laura.
Hey, Goldie.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Greg. Long time.
Oh, is this Goldie from way back where?
Yes, yes, way back
Hey.
when. How are you?
You're in California these days, yeah?
I am.
Well, good to hear your voice.
Yeah, it's nice to see you.
Yeah.
So I've had periodic spasm issues with my back for
Okay.
years, 20,
Okay.
30 years.
Okay.
And I have had 2 episodes in the last year that last like a week or more, where I'm in active spasm. And previous to this, at least this one, I've been on opiates, and it would take, the pain would decrease. Only they're less effective, and I'd like to not use them as much.
Sure. So what opiate do they have you on?
Norco.
Norco. Okay. And then is there like an impingement? Is there like thinning disc, a herniated disc, like bone on bone? Like what's
Well,
going on with the back?
The latest diagnosis since June, because I moved to a new place and new doctor, is scoliosis. Previous to that, I've had arthritis diagnosis, disc diagnosis, a multitude of diagnoses.
Okay.
So this time they're saying scoliosis. I've been I actually was getting better where I was on 5 milligrams twice a day, and sometimes not taking it. But I have back pain other than the spasm. But I must have injured it about a week ago, because then it goes into spasm. And I ran out of meds, have to go back and see the doctor. But I've been using Tylenol or ibuprofen, hot and cold showers, marijuana, anything to keep
Sure.
the pain away. So, and Cindy and I were talking, and we came on the, I'd done some research on the frankincense, and she ordered it for me, but I don't know if that's the best, how to take it, how often.
So I would say, like to come at this for a couple things to do. And so like when you say pain, we're talking sharp pain, radiating pain, stabbing pain. Is it dull and achy? Like what kind of pain are we talking about?
No, it's like a stabbing, searing pain.
Okay.
That rate just is, I mean, I can almost see it. Sometimes it's a line, sometimes it's like a pulsating thing.
Okay, so here's the thing. So there's like a couple of things that I'd like to address. So one is just like the limbic response to pain, right? So we use like some things just to reduce the pain threshold, or like I don't know if it's proper to say reduce or improve or increase, but basically like shift the pain threshold. And so most times we use something called galbanum, which is in the frankincense family. It can be very helpful for taking the edge off of pain, just because it changes how your brain processes it, especially in the excuse me. And that can be good, but here I would actually lean more towards having you take pretty healthy dosages of myrrh. And myrrh hits that pain threshold and that same mechanism. But the thing with myrrh is it also hits the opioid receptors, and it will make your pain meds like work a little bit better, and it will reduce the rebound that happens like when they wear off or if you don't take them the next day. And that's a big goal for anybody that's on any sort of painkiller like that. Like, you want to make it work better so you don't have to keep increasing dosage, and you want to reduce the rebound effect, but you also want to diminish the rebound itself. And so, I usually start people off with like maybe 6-8 drops, 1 or 2 times a day. If you don't want to do quite that much, you could probably do 4 drops, but you'll probably find enough relief with it that you'll bump up to 6 or 8 drops pretty quickly. It's also a bit relaxing, so it can help relax the back. It's not something we'd use for it being an antispasmodic, but it does take the edge off. So the issue also, before we even get to the pain itself, the issue with sharp stabbing pain, like any sort of nerve pain, be it radiating, tingling, prickling, sharp stabbing, is within about 2 weeks of having it, it starts to cause bronchial spasms and spasms in the trachea. And so it actually reduces your ability to take in a big gulp of air and then to exhale it out. Like you don't like empty the lungs out like normal. And so there's a couple of things that you could use for that. If you wanted to use some oils, just like good old fashioned like hyssop or larch could be used, just inhaling it multiple times a day. And it just that will also start to reduce some of the pain, because basically what starts to happen is you start to have bronchial spasms, and it starts to become harder and harder for your body to elevate the rib cage to breathe. And it throws the diaphragm into a spasm. And when the diaphragm tightens up and goes into a spasm, like it is a direct response. There's a direct correlation that if the diaphragm is tight, the spinal muscles that go between the vertebrae actually tighten up. Like if you want to loosen those muscles up, one of the best ways to do it is to relax the diaphragm. And so just that will start to take some of the pressure off of those spinal muscles. And so the hyssop would address the spasms, and it would even reduce some of the tension in the trachea, will start to relax the diaphragm a bit. And in doing so, a lot of times, like if the pain is at like an 8 or a 9, just doing the breathing component of it will drop it down to like maybe a 4 or a 5. And so like if you keep like stacking some of these pieces together, you might be able to get the pain down significantly. Marjoram is a very good antispasmodic topically for something like that. But I would use something directly on the spine. That there's a blend that we have, pain relief, like neuropathic, that's made specifically for nerve pain, like because there's different kinds of pains, and so they have different mechanisms of like why they're happening. And like when you have sharp stabbing pain, it's usually an impingement, an entrapment, something's compromised in the spine, in the up in the neck or in the head, for the cranial nerves. And so we want to diminish that pain while taking some of the tension and spasm out of the spine itself. And so oils that work really good for that are usually things that are mint based, like peppermint, forest mint, corn mint. Spearmint will work, Scotch mint will work, but like peppermint and corn mint are your kind of go-to ones there. the forest mint doesn't quite have the menthol. We're looking for menthol. You know, menthol will help to loosen the spine, and it diminishes the sensory input going to the brain. And eventually we'd probably want to treat a little bit of brain fatigue, because when there's been long-standing issues of nerve pain, I mean, it's just a direct corresponding effect that eventually causes some brain fatigue. And so I'd say let's just do this first and get you feeling a little bit better, and then treat the brain fatigue, which would then deepen the level that this treatment is going. But let's not overwhelm you with a whole bunch of things. You know, the hyssop should work. You know, there's a blend bronchioles. Sometimes in more severe cases, there is an herb called lobelia that I have people use sometimes. And just like one capsule, maybe twice a day, it relaxes the fascia and it relaxes the diaphragm. And so it can kind of help augment this. But I would do the myrrh for the limbic response and you know, the opioid receptors in the brain. I would do like the hyssop for inhalations. And honestly, if you already got the frankincense, like you could even use frankincense like you would use the hyssop, like just long, slow, deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. That could be quite helpful. And then some sort of pain oil that you put directly on the spots. And so between that should start reducing it substantially, and it makes it easier to treat after you've done that for a little bit.
Okay, so the one, so you're saying myrrh,
Myrrh.
hyssop, frankincense, and then
Well, if you have the frankincense, like maybe let's even try it instead of the hyssop. And then if it just doesn't work, then we'll get you like hyssop or something else. But like, let's say, start inhaling the frankincense, long, slow, deep breaths. And then I'm going to run you through a little breathing exercise here right now that you can even do even if you don't have the essential oils for the bronchial spasms. But so myrrh internally, and we'll edit this clip and send you this clip so that you have it and you can watch the little segment over that's specific to you. And so let's make sure that we have her. Be sure that we have your email address, and we'll send you the link for this little excerpt, and we'll have somebody edit it out and get it to you. And then the pain relief neuropathic, or at least like peppermint or corn mint or something. Corn mint has the highest level of menthol out of all the plants. And so it's this funky kind of mint that grows up in Nepal. And it's what they use to make menthol, like menthol crystals. And, you know, when you have menthol and different things, it's what they kind of break up and use the menthol out of it for natural source. And so that should be good. But so here's the little breathing exercise that I'd like you to do. And just, here's the way to test it is like, you take a long, slow, deep breath in through your nose where you inhale. And then as you exhale, you want to be able to exhale even slower than your inhalation and keep it even. But when you have bronchial spasms, this is what happens. You go, okay, inhale really slow. And you go, okay, now over the next 20 seconds, exhale, and you go, right? Or you go, you know, because the bronchioles are in spasm, so you can't control the exhalation. And so it's not whether or not you have bronchial spasms because you've had sharp stabbing pain, it's how bad are they? Because within 14 days, you're going to have bronchial spasms. It's just to what degree. And then that exaggerates the pain, right? That exaggerates the pain syndrome. And so this is how you go through and treat this. You inhale very slowly. and then you purse your lips together really super tight and just leave a little tiny hole for the air to come out, but so that you have to force it out, like how you like blow up a balloon. So you inhale and then long, slow, deep breath again. And then keep making it like hard to push it out between the lips. So let's go ahead and just let everybody could do it together, or at least Goldie, let's have you do it. Like inhale and then tighten the lips up so there's just a little tiny hole, and then really force it out. And then inhale again, like slow, hold your breath for a second, tighten the lips, and then again, force it out.
Keep doing it.
Do it like maybe 1 or 2 more times.
Okay. Okay.
And then just sit there for a second and just be still for a second. And did that change the pain in your body a little bit?
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, usually even just opening up the lungs will take the edge off the sharp pain. Like it'll still, like the pain will still be there, but it takes it down a notch or 2.
So that use it when you're in the spasm, not
I
necessarily.
would do it on a regular basis, so you just unwind it, because the thing with that too is when the it's like this chain reaction that happens, and so when the bronchioles are in spasm, it actually your adrenals to overactivate. Like it stimulates the fight flight response and the autonomic nervous system, and your adrenals to overactivate, which then increases body tension and your reaction to pain. And so all these things together are to like reverse the thing that's been happening with the chronic pain. But we really need to unwind the bronchioles a bit. And so I wouldn't even wait till you're in pain. I would just, like every day, like 4 or 5 breaths where you do the pursed lip breathing, and you can do some inhalations with the frankincense in between. If you want to do more than 4 or 5 of the pursed lip breathing, you can, but augment it with the frankincense, like just long, slow, deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just keep doing that for a little bit. And the more that you are able to unwind the bronchioles and the trachea, the more that you're going to decrease the tension in the multifidi, the spinal muscles along the spine, and it starts taking pressure off those spinal nerves. So we're going to try to come at it from a couple of different ways, but usually consistently this pretty much will, it's not going to fix everything, but it's definitely going to take the edge off a whole bunch, and then it makes whatever issue is going on there much easier to treat. But right now we got to get you out of like that pain cycle.
Okay. Now you said a pain oil directly on the skin. Which one is that? It's that
pain relief
marjoram?
neuropathic. Pain relief neuropathic.
That's the name of it? Pain relief
neuropathic, which just is a fancy way of saying nerve pain.
Okay. So I have myrrh for internally, frankincense inhale.
Right.
The pain relief medicine for on the skin directly.
Right.
And the corn mint is have.
No, like
internal-
the pain relief neuropathic is all you need to do. Like if
Okay,
you,
don't do the
no,
peppermints.
it's got cornmeal in it, so you're good.
Okay. All
And
right.
then
Oh,
give us an update in about a week or two after treating it.
okay. So, does it interact with the opioids? And
It will actually make them work a little bit better. Like it won't make you like all like loopy or anything, but it makes the pain relief part work a little bit better, and it diminishes the rebound that happens when the painkiller wears off. So I would say that the interaction is that it makes it work better. Like it won't offset it, it won't overdo anything. It actually makes things work a little bit better.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Hey, good hearing from you. It's
Yeah.
been a long time.
Yeah. It's been what, probably 15,
50,
almost 20
15
years.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you've come a long ways.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Good to hear from you. Take care.
And then go ahead, Laura, then Sonia.
Hey, Laura.
Hi, Greg.
Hey,
I what you were saying to the woman about her son was very interesting to me, and I have had two different holistic kind of practitioners, one an acupuncturist and the other a nurse practitioner, look at different things and tell me my endocrine system it has, because of high levels of stress, high cortisol levels,
Mhm.
different things, and they think that's why I've been adding weight and not being able to take it off. So I'm curious, could the mixture of myrrh and frankincense possibly calm my endocrine system?
Well, it's like it fortifies it and makes it work like more appropriately is the best way to do it. Like when things start going awry, like there starts to be these imbalances where the body tries to compensate for things, and so the endocrine system can get a little bit out of whack. And like with the frankincense and myrrh together, it just starts helping like all the glands start functioning like they should. Primarily because it hits the hypothalamus so well, but I mean it hits pretty much every gland, and so that's always a good thing to do whenever there's endocrine issues. If it's just like maintenance and things, like a lot of times I'll go more lemon verbena or something that's a little bit more of a general like endocrine kind of balancer and things. But if you're having like several things going on with the endocrine system, or just even as we get older, like I use it from time to time just to keep everything functioning good, like almost like how you would do vitamins. Like I just like, the glands, just as we get older, they don't quite function like they used to. And so I just keep trying to jumpstart them from time to time, and I'll do it for a while. I'll feel good. And then, I forget about it for a while. And then a month or two goes by and I go through and I do another like week of it kind of intensely. And then I forget about it. And so,
So you had said 3 to 4 drops daily, if I remember correctly. Would that work? Would that be where you would start someone like me?
yeah, I would even do it twice a day. Like if you're really wanting to go after the endocrine system, I would do it about 4 drops twice a day. I mean, in really severe cases, I even bump it up. But like I also want to make sure that it's well tolerated and everything. But frankincense and myrrh, you can take big dosages of it and it's pretty good. Like when I start to have like pain syndromes and stuff, I mean, I knock back like 12 drops of myrrh 2 or 3 times a day. And sometimes I don't even need to take anything else other than just that to calm the back down. And so, I'll put things on topically, but sometimes like with travel and stuff, like you just can't always do it. And, I don't want to be kicked off a plane. So I just like with the myrrh, and I usually forget to do anything else because it makes me feel so much better.
So 3 wise men would be your suggestion,
For
probably.
the endocrine system, yes. Like
Okay.
you can go
And
4
myrrh
drops
for the pain.
myrrh for the pain, but you're already getting some myrrh in the 3 wise men. So I don't know that you need to do both. Like you could probably just do, like if you wanted to increase the dosage of myrrh, I would just increase the dosage of the 3 wise men and call it good.
Okay. Next question, and this is me being lazy and disorganized. We were having a discussion today about etheric cords, and I remember Holy Basil, and one of the classes I just took within the last 6 weeks did a lot.
Phoenix technique.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
Both of us went blank on that.
Yeah.
So that helps me a lot. I will go
Yeah.
back into it.
Perfect. Especially that first segment. Like that first segment could stand on its own and clean those cords up. And yeah.
I will go dig it out. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
You're so welcome. I just did the first segment of Phoenix technique last night, and man, it felt good.
Well, I'm going to be doing the same. Thank you.
Perfect.
And then go ahead, Sonia.
Hey, Sonia.
Did you finally decide how you were going to do next year and whether you were going to do the chakra classes again?
I'm not sure yet. We're doing the basic chakra will be the last one in January, and so we probably will do them again starting up in February, starting with the crown again. But we might go a little bit deeper on treating some body systems and things like that. And so, are you wanting to do the chakra thing again?
I think it would be useful because, every time you've gone through the sequence, you refine things and pull things together and been more clear about things and
Okay.
things and what they're for.
Maybe
Like
we'll
the
do that
first
then.
season, sometimes we didn't do the whole sequence in actuality, but we talked about it. Yeah, I think it would be helpful for people to do it one more time.
Okay. Yeah, I love those classes. Yeah. So yeah, we probably will.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think we're going to be out in Albuquerque in March.
Okay.
And then someone had a question, can corn mint or hyssop be used to relieve hiccups?
Hyssop might, what else sometimes works is tarragon, but hiccups would probably be resolved by hyssop.
And remember, you guys can always unmute yourself. I'm going to go through again here in the chat, make sure I didn't miss any of your questions though.
And just while she's looking, remember we're going to do this weekend is the sex chakra class. So we're coming down to that one, and then the basic chakra in January. But then the weekend after it, we're doing a 1-day free class that's going to focus really on immunity. So, I know we've talked about immunity before, but we're just going to keep going at immunity from as many different directions as possible. And, with stuff that you have, make it as easy as possible to treat whatever kind of things that are going on, be it COVID or the, what's the other one, the RSV. The thing with COVID is there's always mutations, and then there's just good old fashioned colds and flus and things that happened. And then we've had such a rough couple of years. We're just going to go hard on it this cold and flu season and try to support you as best that we can through all of that. So that'll be on the 17th. So it's a free class. Join us. If you have friends or something you want to have join, it doesn't have to be somebody that's been in a class or something like that. bring them along and we'll talk immunity and we'll talk a lot of theory. And, we might not do a lot of practice that day because we just want to get the theory out and not sure that everybody will have oils, but we'll do a little bit of protocols and stuff. So.
Hello, this is Peggy.
Hey, Miss Peggy.
Hello to everyone. The other day when you mentioned Melissa for cardiac palpitations, and I didn't hear you say what, like 2 or 3 drops in water, or just is smelling it enough, or do we need to?
Smelling it might help, but if you're really wanting to go at it kind of hard, I'd say at least 3 drops.
Twice a day?
You could do it multiple times a day. I mean, the worst case scenario, if you take too much, what happens is it makes you a little sleepy, because it's unnerving. So, I mean, there could be worse things that could happen. That you have to take a little nap or something is not necessarily a bad thing.
So
But
start with 3 drops a day. 3 drops at a
you
time.
could start to 3 drops, but sometimes I do it for my thymus. And just to keep it regulated, and I do about 6 drops at a time. I'm a big guy though, and so starting at 3 is pretty healthy. But you could bump it up to 6 or 8 drops if you had palpitation issues.
Okay, thank you very much. I
You're
appreciate it.
so.
And then Sonia, your hand was raised.
Yeah, there's some of the doctors studying long COVID are coming up with that they're feeling that it's a result of autonomic dysregulation. Considering all the stresses related to COVID, it would make sense and their people's fears of the illness.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Through vaccine.
So to kind of like fortify like the parasympathetic activity and tarragon would work really good for that. Balancing out the autonomic nervous system, like anise, works really well for that, as well as yuzu. You could also use some marjoram, but I'd probably go like tarragon and or anise. Like anise is a good balancer. Same with yuzu, very good balancer of the autonomic nervous system. The tarragon can help with parasympathetic issues, especially in the presence of nausea and vomiting. And then also the same with marjoram. Marjoram can tone the vagus nerve, and it's not necessarily a treatment that you would use for like diarrhea and stuff, but the diarrhea can happen and the nausea can happen with really super poor vagal tone. And so you fortify the vagus nerve, and then the diarrhea and the vomiting and nausea diminishes. And so tarragon can be used that way, and marjoram can be used that way. And as far as balancing things out, the anise or the yuzu.
And then different note, someone's asking, what is an emotional release?
Emotional release. Give me just a sec here. St. John's wort, Damascus rose, cistus, helichrysum, Cape snowbush, Roman chamomile, and melissa. Yeah, it's actually quite a fancy blend there.
What was the second one after St. John's wort?
Damascus rose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apologies for misspelling.
Okay, so everybody's good. No more questions or anything. Okay, so We've been focusing over the last few weeks on different aspects of the immune system, basically looking at it from kind of an energetic point of view and putting it under the microscope. So in the first week, we focused a little bit more on the spleen. Then last week, we focused a bit more on the thymus. Today, I want to focus on like the upper energy centers that would affect the brain and cerebral spinal fluid circulation, which is tied to immune function and the function of the nervous system. And, you know, we can just focus on the upper centers, but let's have some choices of oils that you can pull out. So you can use something like Cape Snowbush, which is a little bit obscure, but even something simple like lavender. Traditionally, to treat cerebral spinal fluid circulation, one of the single oils that works really well is spike lavender, which is not a true lavender, but it works on the cerebral spinal fluid circulation quite well. So any lavender would work. Then like helichrysum, Roman chamomile, German chamomile, you know, yarrow, milfoil, tansy, like the blue tansy or the dark blue tansy. Frankincense could work. I said helichrysum, poplar balsam could work. And then blends would be Three Wise Men would work, Healing Elixir would work, CSF. I don't know that we ever put that one out. CSF. I think it's just in my recipe. Oh, what's the other one? Oh, pain relief psychogenic. Pain relief psychogenic also has an impact on cerebral spinal fluid circulation. So if you don't have any of those, let us know, but try to pick something out of that if you have it.
Is there anyone that's more of an A+ choice?
Spiked lavender by itself or healing elixir would be the #1 choices, but any of those are pretty solid. So take a moment and find that. And then begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the throat. You're taking long, slow, deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you're inhaling, your awareness is on the throat. You're still taking long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the throat. Yeah. And then drop down to the throat minor, which is that little notch between the two collarbones. Still taking long, slow, deep breaths. Then go to your back throat, the middle of the back of your neck. And then go to your jaws. You're taking long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on your jaws. Your awareness is still on your jaws. Then move up to your temples. Your awareness is on your temples on both sides. You're taking long, slow, deep breaths. You're still on the temples. You're taking long, slow, deep breaths. And go to your back head, opposite your eyebrows, but on the back side. And then your forehead. Your awareness is on your forehead. And then just be still, be aware, keep your eyes closed, just be still for a moment. Okay, we're going to use the technique for Lama Yoga, which I'm going to revisit right now. But one of the things that the breath does, which just let me revisit this. So your chin is down. You're going to inhale, lifting your head up. Then your exhale through the mouth down. Through your nose, you're inhaling up. Exhale, down. Inhale up. Exhale, down. And this movement of your head, where you inhale up, exhale down, it does a lot of different things, but specific to what we're doing right now, it's one of the ways that you help to strengthen and regulate cerebral spinal fluid circulation. So it's good for the brain, it's good for the nervous system, and it helps accelerate the body's ability to heal. So here we're using it to increase the potentials for the immune system, for the lymphatic system, your body's ability to fight off a virus or bacteria. But we're doing it by increasing proper cerebral spinal fluid circulation, which also is going to help with other functions in the body, right? So we're going to go back and forth between doing the protocol with the pattern we just did, and then using Lama Yoga to augment, right? Now, as you go through and you do Lama Yoga, there's a variation that stimulates or helps to strengthen and regulate cerebral spinal fluid circulation. So after you do like 7 to 14 breaths, then you'll be still, your awareness is on your feet, right? You're just being still, your awareness is on your feet. Then you move it to your hands. Then you move it to the forehead and the back head at the same time. And by moving your awareness to those 3 spots, it highly fortifies and strengthens cerebral spinal fluid circulation. So the breath and the head movement does it. And then once you've done that, by moving your awareness to these different spots, helps to even further strengthen this response. If you look at somebody energetically when they have a cold or flu, or they're about to get sick, one of the ways that you go through and evaluate is you look at the head region, right? You go through, you look at, okay, the crown, the forehead, the ajna, the back head, the jaws, especially the temples. Are these strong, or are they starting to deplete and weaken? And that will directly correspond to how sick you're going to be and how quickly you get better or are able to fight it off, right? And so it's usually the icing on the cake after you've gone through and treat something for the immune system. But here we're making it kind of an integral part of the treatment and using it to potentially ward off the potential virus, cold, flu, whatever it is. Okay, so chin down, you're not breathing any oils, you're just doing the head motion. So inhale through your nose, head up, exhale through the mouth, down, up, down. Inhale up, exhale 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 down. Just be still. Your eyes are closed. You're just being still. You're not controlling your breath or regulating your breath. You're just being still. In your stillness, your awareness is on your feet. The whole foot, tops, sides, bottom, heel, ball of the foot, the soles of the foot, the toes. Move your awareness up to the hands, the palms, the back of the hands, the whole hand. And then your forehead, where the hairline is, and your back head at the same time. Your awareness is on the forehead and back head at the same time. And then chin down to your chest again. No oils. You're just doing it with the breath. Inhale, moving your head up. Exhale, down. Inhale up. Exhale, down. Inhale up, exhale 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 down. Just be still, be aware. Your awareness is on your feet. Your awareness is on your hands. And then your forehead and back head at the same time. Now, same oil that you've been using, pull that oil up, begin inhaling again. Your awareness is on your throat. You're taking long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the throat. The bottom of your throat, the throat minor. Your back throat, the middle of the back of your neck. Your awareness is on your jaws. The temples. Your awareness is on your temples. And then your back head. And then the forehead. And then just be still. Just be still for a moment. As bad as before. Begin inhaling again with the oil. Your awareness is on your feet, your whole foot, top, sides, bottom, the whole foot, both of your feet. The palms of your hands, you're inhaling with your awareness on the palms of your hands. And then your awareness is on the forehead and back head at the same time. Wherever there's a area in your body where there's some sort of compromise, a bad back, a bad shoulder, knees, a liver or kidney that's not functioning, wherever that is, some arthritis, wherever that is, put your awareness on that spot and just take some long, slow, deep breaths. And then just be still, just let everything go. Be still, be aware, just let go for a moment. Keep your eyes closed. Okay, no oils this time. Chin down to the chest. Inhale, moving your head up. Exhale through the mouth, head down. Inhale up. Exhale 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 down. Just be still. Just be aware. Your awareness is on your feet. Your awareness is on your hands. Your awareness is on your forehead and back head at the same time. Begin inhaling the oil again. This time you're just on the brain. You're just taking long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on your brain. Continue to inhale. Your awareness is on the bones in your neck, the cervical spine. The spine between your shoulder blades, the upper back area. Your mid spine. And the low spine, your low back. And then just be still. Just be still, be aware. Notice how you feel. By going through and doing this, you're strengthening your body's ability to fight a virus. Just by what we did tonight. Helps the body heal, can ease some of the aches and pains. It helps the lymphatic system function better. Helps the nervous system. But tonight we focused on, by doing the same process, stimulating the cerebral spinal fluid circulation. Stimulating is not the right word. It's more like toning and regulating the cerebral spinal fluid regulation or circulation. So anyway, hope you had a good session tonight. Remember, the ones for the Metatron class we're still on for tomorrow. We'll be doing variations of Lama Yoga tomorrow for the Astara sessions, if you want to join us for that as well. And if you want to continue with what we're doing tonight, we're going to switch over to Astara and do the blessing of the prayer petitions. It's very short, but still a way to work the energy for a little bit. And if not, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you either on the weekend or tomorrow night or next week this time. But at some point, take care.